Parks. Goes to Elmer Reyes, a perfectly executed cross break by the San Miguel Beermen.
I'll get up and goes to Bobby Parks. The best import of 1987 goes up with one that has become his hallmark.
In the third conference of 1987, Norman Black brought to the country an import from Memphis State, who would become a regular fixture in the league.
Well, the Coffee Kings have finally broken through that double-digit barrier, but look at Bobby Parks getting one back for them.
Bobby Parks began what would be the first of 7 best import performances with San Miguel Beer as his arrival, coupled with the return of Samboy the Skywalker Lim from the injured list, revitalized the Beermen in the third conference. In the finals of the third conference, San Miguel left the bruising Hills Brothers team and won their first championship with a beefed-up NCC core.
Well, actually, everything really turned around for us in the third conference, 1987, when we got Bobby Parks as our import. San Miguel came back into the league in 1986 third conference, and the nucleus of the NCC team, which we didn't have all the players from that team, but we had the nucleus, and they were still young, they were still raw, and even though they had won some international competitions, we didn't fare too well in the PBA immediately. But when Bobby Parks came in as our import in 1987, we seemed to turn everything around, and that's where we actually won our first championship.
The San Miguel Beermen.
A big round of applause for the reinforced champions, the San Miguel Beermen. The third championship for this franchise since they joined the league right from its inception in 1975.
The same faces came back for San Miguel to open up the 1988 season. The NCC core was intact, the additions were in place, and everyone was upbeat. Hector Calma, Samboy Lim, Ives Dignadice, Alvin Tang, Elmer Reyes. All of them came ready to reprise the roles from the previous conference. And with that, the open conference almost seemed preordained. Even against a mighty stand put up by David Thirdkill and the young, neophyte Pure Foods Hot Dogs team in the finals, San Miguel managed to pull through in a tight 7 games.
Blood gets the baseline.
In the first conference of 1988, I played as the import, and we won the first conference, and that's when we really started to gain some momentum as far as our winning was concerned.
Then came the real test, the all-Filipino crowd. Since the founding of the league, San Miguel had been to the all-Filipino finals just twice, losing both, including that heartbreaker of a 1982 season when the Beermen led the best-of-7 series 3-1, only to lose in 7 games to Crispa. In the 1988 edition, the Beermen battled in the eliminations, crowding Pure Foods and Añejo for the top spots. And then the conference boiled down to a knockout game with sister team Añejo. The result was disastrous.
Outside shot. Let's see what's going to happen.
And with no time left.
Siguro talagang hindi para sa amin yung second conference na yun. Knockout game pa naman yun against hindi Añejo pa yata yun. Sa loob namin, subukan na lang natin sa 89.
But the season had not been lost yet. In fact, if there ever was a prelude to a Grand Slam, it was the 1988 season. Because a significant trade greased the Beermen's path to the Triple Crown. As Añejo battled the young Pure Food squad in the All-Filipino Finals, a controversy started to brew. Ramon Fernandez, undeniably the game's best big man, had a falling out with the Pure Foods management. A sudden twist that would upset the balance of the series.
Keeping his hands up, as if to say.
The flames were fanned when Fernandez was benched. It was clear there was going to be a parting of ways.
And there is Mr. Ramon Fernandez. Everybody everybody's being nagged by the question, what is with the Pure Food squad? Is Mr. Fernandez in the doghouse? Is he indisposed? What is the reason? Why is he not being fielded into the action?
And the Beermen were only too willing to provide El Presidente a new home. But to acquire Fernandez, San Miguel had to pay a steep price. The Beermen had to let go of Alberto Guidabe, the same guy who led the Beermen to 2 championships and who was the fiercest rival of Fernandez then.
The basketball game 2 nights ago, then he came out smoking, he played a beautiful game, he kept his cool.
He felt that Mon was a better overall player at that particular time, and he probably would be able to augment the players that we had a little bit better than Abbott was doing at that particular time. Not to say Abbott's not a good player. I mean, he had just helped us win 2 championships. That's why the trade was so controversial, because we had just won 2 championships, and here we go trading our top center to another team. But as it turned out to be a pretty good move, not just for us, but also for Juan Fernandez.
For San Miguel naman, you remember, ang nucleus nila galing sa Northern Consolidated, no? O yung tinatawag natin na Northern Cement. So, ang nangyari doon, these players, since they came from the amateur ranks almost all together, parang magkasabay lang sila, no? They're about the same age. They needed a senior statesman. They needed a leader. Someone to take control of the team at crunch time.
I'd like to believe that I fit into the needs of the team at that time. No? They really lacked a leader, a senior leader at that. No?
And in an instant, San Miguel transformed from a superstar team into a powerhouse.
But a young team needing direction, needing guidance, then you couldn't pick a guy who's better equipped for the job than Juan Fernandez, because he epitomizes leadership.
The trade left the rest of the field hoping that the Beermen would crumble under the weight of all those big-name players. But that never happened.
The good thing about the San Miguel Beer team then was they were really a team. I mean, the players were interested in one basic thing, and that was to win basketball games. They didn't really care how they won them, as long as they played as a team offensively, defensively, and they did what they had to do to win.
It was a complete team, no? And what was good about it is that majority, if not all of the players, understood and accepted the roles that they have to play in the team.
With Fernandez on board, it seemed that winning the 3rd conference against Shell, which was powered by its former import Bobby Parks, was a foregone conclusion. But it wasn't the end of a mission. Not special for Fernandez, a league pioneer who watched Crispa win 2 Grand Slams and came close to doing so with Tanwan. No, sir. For Don Ramon, it was just the start of something big. Even after nailing his 4th MVP trophy at the end of that season, Fernandez sensed the fulfillment of a dream.
I knew that one day I'm going to be able to help a team win a Grand Slam too.